With tensions over a possible war with Russia at an all-time high, Ukrainian civilians receive military training every weekend. In an abandoned former Soviet military facility in the suburbs of Kyiv, men and women learn how to use firearms and what to do in an urban conflict.
We are calm. If necessary, we will return to defend our country. We work on it, see? It's the weekend, and we've come to train.
The training is not organised by the Ukrainian Armed Forces, but by one of the most active battalions during the war in the east of the country, the AZOV Battalion, often criticised for holding far-right and even neo-Nazi positions. Now, this organisation has stepped into politics by creating the National Core Party. Its leaders refuse to be classified as ultra-nationalists or extremists and define themselves as patriots in times of war.
We position ourselves as Ukraine nationalists, but we have to understand that the nationalist right in Ukraine is very different from that of Europe or the US. We have other priorities. We face other problems. The biggest of those priorities is that we need to resolve the war with the Russian Federation.
For Ukraine's sizable Jewish minority, largely concentrated in the eastern city of Dnieper, worries about the growth of the far right were highest during the 2013 so-called Maidan protests. But when stability returned, and with a new leadership in power, concerns about nationalist extremism abated.
We believe that it's not a major mainstream part of the political environment, and the common sense and the people with the very good feelings and support and friendship and tolerance is very strong in Ukraine. So these groups exist, but they comprise a very minor percentage of the society.
Russian propaganda has portrayed these far-right groups as a fundamental part of Ukraine's politics. But a coalition, all the far-right parties failed to make it into the Ukrainian parliament in the last legislative elections.
The amount of people who are supporting really far-right movements is fairly small. So there is no far-right party in the Ukrainian parliament, and the latest polls are showing that people are not giving them enough support. So what we are seeing is just created by the society limited group of people who are far-right, which I believe would happen in any democratic country.
The possibility of a large-scale armed conflict persists, and some fear this can give wings to Ukrainian nationalism, including its most radical sectors. For Ricardo Marquina in Kyiv, Jon Spier, VOA News.